Hello everybody, welcome back to Commonwealth Flipper. I'm doing something smart today here. I'll tell you in a minute. Did you know that eBay is dead? I've heard 3 different people this week. 2 of them sent me messages, and one of us was a little blog thing. I don't know what you want to call it. And they all said the same thing, that eBay is really suffering. Their sales are way down. And I gotta tell you, I'm gonna be a little brutally honest right here this week, because I'm seeing the opposite. I'm hearing from a lot of people saying the opposite. I'm just gonna kind of tell it like it is today, because we got a bunch of sales. Let's go take a look. And looks like I got a guess right off the bat, and I was smart. Look, I was out there doing some work, and I grabbed something that I knew we just listed. It is really small. That's another topic I want to talk about. Not big dollar sales right here. Last Action Hero without the weapon. That one, is that the Governator right there? That one sold for $5.95 plus shipping. And another side note really quick, this is the first time the heaters come out. It is fall, y'all. All right, got a few topics I'm going to mix in, but we do have a bunch of sales. I think it's just under $1,000 headed out of here today. We've been doing pretty darn good lately. Now remember, we were filming 3 days a week, so it's not like we're selling $1,000 every day. But some days we have this month, and that's been really cool. But eBay is dead, and this was a multi-point. Well, one of the messages was multi-point and gave me a bunch of statistics and a bunch of stuff. And of course, whenever I get that, I like to ask questions, and I'm not going to get into it, but there are some things I really think that are hurting people. They're detrimental to their eBay business. And then I get one sassy message. It's, you know, it's different for you. Things are going good for you because you're a content creator. Listen, I'm not discounting any of that, but if you have watched my videos for years and years, you know, there are bad times for me. I've talked about them. I've documented them many times. And I don't want to belittle anybody out there who is struggling right now. But the overall arch of this thing, if you continue to adjust and adapt, I've argued for a long time, is going up. And in my opinion, this might be controversial, there is no better time for opportunity for resellers than there is right now. That's live sellers, that's static sellers, that's Mercari, Poshmark, eBay, whatever. There's ups and downs in all of it, but if you bring it all together, this is a great opportunity for resellers. So Q4 is always, I mean, look at it. I mean, this is a Q4 store, right? And so there are those parts out there where some people don't do as good in certain seasons as others, and you got to take that into account too, what you're selling. Sold this Bible. One thing I like to say, because you're gonna see me go, we got an action figure right there, we got a Bible right here. Look at this throughout this whole video and just look and see the variety. And I want some people who specialize in some things to chime in. This will give you an idea. Normally my videos, I go about that much down, but we're adding all these sales in, just kind of add-ons. And I feel like eBay's pretty healthy when you have a nice steady stream of varying items, and then items that are selling that have been listed for varying amounts of time. And that is what this video is. It's crazy right now. This is a scripture reference study Bible. Didn't sell for a ton. $14.95 plus ship. And then I go right back here, and we've got another book sale. Had 3 book sales today. Actually, one just came in. I think I can find this. This has been here forever. And maybe it is a commentary on our time. That a Bible sells, and then a series of Left Behind books sell at the same time. Maybe that's saying something. I don't think I'll pick this up with one hand. I had to go inside because that wasn't the right set, but that set sold for $34.97. Been hanging around a long time. There's dust on the top of it. It's been hanging around that long, and it was 30% off. So books, I've sold another set of books later today. I've talked to some book folks, and things are going well for the people that I talk to. And you'll see all the different categories today. This is we've got 26 sales, $901. 26 sales, $901. Huge variety of different types of niches. I'm an everything seller. It's what I like to do. I have employed a few different strategies that I think have helped me out just in the last month or so. Now, I will say that there are some folks, there's some golf folks, there's definitely been a slowing in that lately. Hey, look at that. That's the right one. Now I need to find I think it's a little, no. There it is right there. I think this is the right one. Metals have been going crazy, obviously, for obvious reasons. That little guy, I think, sold for $22. This one sold for $37, or do I have it backwards? Yeah, $37 for that one. Both of those, 2 different buyers, both of them plus shipping. We've done really well on that sterling when we made that buy. I've also made a point of it to really start looking for more precious metals. So far, no gold in the last couple of months. I did find quite a bit earlier this year. And sterling has been out there. It's been easy to find. At least for me it has, which has been surprising because there's, you know, everything ebbs and flows. But those aren't really the strategies that I'm talking about. But we could turn this into what's selling right now on eBay. If you guys help me out and chime in down below, what is a niche, what is a category that's really going well for you? Because I can't pinpoint one. The only thing I didn't really sell in here is electronics. Media is going well. You'll see it throughout this video. But I have been doing a few things. Some of them we've been public about. You know, doing List Easier, selling a lot live to almost declutter, to streamline what we're doing because we're getting more listings up. Definitely, maybe more than I've ever really done before on eBay, and still doing live selling because Jess has helped us. But my pricing strategy, I hate to say this because some people will get mad at me, you know, race to the bottom type stuff. My pricing strategy has always been take good pictures, put very good titles in, and you can ask the market value or maybe a little bit above. I have really shifted that to, if it is an item that is not the best sell-through rate item, I am going below that market. I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to sit around and wait. And so I've been doing below market prices, at market prices, and on fewer and fewer items above market prices. However, there's still a place for that. I honestly believe, and I know I don't want to bring up the shipping thing again. We've been down this road before, but for those people who are doing the shipping and making the buyer pay the entire retail price, I think you're going to be losing out on some sales. That's just my opinion. You can adjust your sales price. You can definitely do that. You could lower your sales price because that's going to be a little bit more for some folks. You could definitely do that if you wanted to as you're listing new items, and then put older ones on sale. We've been doing that for a year now, 30% off. It's been on the store for more than 250 days. I honestly think there are so many forces out there right now that are working in our favor. This is some Blanco. I used to miss it. I didn't know what Blanco was, if you want to know the truth, to about 6 years ago. Man, I can only imagine how much stuff I missed. This is nothing amazing. Some Blanco candle holders, and they sold for $17.46 plus shipping. But look at the diversity here. We're just getting started. So I hate to say this, but I think it's what some people need to hear right now. You know, those people who just, the absolute horror stories, disasters, and I feel for folks like that out there. But I'm getting a ton of the other. I'm getting a lot of people saying, holy cow, what are your sales this week? How's this going? How's this? And there's bad weeks, and there's bad weekends, and there's bad days. And if I showed you my chart, you'd see that stuff. But the overall trend is going in the right direction. And Q4 for us has started off well. So, you know, if you're struggling, just take a deep breath. Don't point any fingers for a second. Just suspend your beliefs about this is what's going on. And just say, okay, what can I do? What is it about my practices? What is it about my... And I have advantages. I'm not going to ignore that. Like, let me show you this. I'll jump ahead to a sale that's at the end of my list to show it to you. I've been doing smalls. I've been loving. I love PVCs. They're now my favorite. They have been for a long time. But, oh my goodness, mushroom. But Reagan, for the first time, she's done some things in the past, pictures and everything. But she's like, hey, you know, because she's getting close to that age where you need a car. And she's like, I would like to take some pictures. I'm like, listen, I'm going to teach you everything. I don't want to just teach you, because this can be a lifelong learning lesson, right? My son was in here earlier shipping a bunch of stuff out. My 22-year-old, he also messed up my tape gun. I got to yell at him. But I don't yell. These right here, Reagan pictured a ton of PVCs. And I had her do the whole listing. Everything but the actual, you know, put it in, because I wanted to work with her. So she took pictures of all of these. I showed her how to crop them, showed her how to do all this. She did more with some Smurfs. Showed her how to pick the ones. I told her I didn't really want to list things. You know, I'm pretty particular about what I list and what I don't list. Try to do that when you're out there buying, but I've been buying so much more that sometimes you just got to take the good with the bad, right, to get the good deal. But with this particular bag of PVCs that she did, I just said, look, I'd like to see sold comps out there at, you know, $7 or more before I list them. And so I've been doing a lot more of low dollar items, and you'll see them like that action figure right there. If I'd already looked it up to see, I'm just going to list it because I've been buying so much more. I still have tons of great stuff to sell on Dibdit.com, sell on live shows. And so she did that, and she did a terrific job. I'm very proud of her. Maybe I can get her in here a little later, and I'm paying her by the hour to do it. She did a good job. She got the comp. She did all that. I'm going to teach her how to use List Easier later. Because I could have done these on List Easier, but I've got a whole nother set of stuff that I'm doing with that right now. And that's increasing my volume. And the fact that she wants to come in and help just increased it that much more, because I listed all of these yesterday after she did her work. All of the Smurf ones. That one goes for good money right there. And then all of these right here. And we still got a ton in there that were like, yeah, they sell for like $4 or $5, but they're slow sell-through rates. And so she didn't put those on there. I had her make the draft. I had her put the prices in. Then I went through later and looked at them all to see if she's doing a good job. I taught her how to look at the comps, the unsold comps. I think a lot of people are missing this. Look at the unsold comps and the sold comps, both of them. Because you can look at the sold comps, there might be 2 or 3, and then you go to the active comps right now, and there might be 8 or 10 or 12, and some of them are really high, and then some of them are really low. So it's like, all right, if 6 of them are really, really low, I can't list it above all 6 of those and expect to sell very soon. So you kind of got to average those things out. I'm not just looking at the sold comps. I'm looking at both. And she did a terrific job. I think I changed the prices on 4 of those Smurfs. She learned pretty quick. I was pretty impressed with her. And we got them all listed. I listed them all, final listing part of it in just a few minutes. And I was able to give her some money, and I pay her, not that you care, not that this has anything to do with the video, but I pay her half of the money that she makes per hour, and half of it goes into a savings account for her. We've been doing that for years, plus the dollar to save, dollar to spend, dollar to earn that she does. I said that wrong. Plus I have to thank Ordy, because that was a viewer sale. There were not a ton of viewers. My viewer sales are way down, y'all. I don't say that to beg for viewer sales. I just say that to say to all the people that want to say it works for you, but it doesn't work for me. This is not a discouraging video. This is meant to be an encouraging video. I don't even know what I'm looking for. There they are right there. We've sold a bunch of these off. Again, a different category, kind of a collectible category, but not purely collectible. I think this one sold. This is to the same viewer, same buyer, not a viewer. Those stuck together. That is not good. And then 25 car, the 25 car. So let me work on this. But this one and this one sold to the same person, and they went for $35.90. Plus shipping. So I got both of them apart. So this is the part that some people don't want to hear, and I kind of get it, because this was me for a long, long time. I just love going to garage sales so much. But for the last few months, you've seen it on my Commonwealth Picker videos, I've been trying to make connections at some of these sales with people I think that might be possible sources in the future. I have now tapped into one of those 5 different times. They're not a reseller, but they have access to some goods and family, and they just keep passing me on to other family members. I keep buying and increasing the volume, and some of the stuff that's not in high demand that I've bought anyways, I'm bulking it up, I'm lotting it up, and I've got options on Shop Commons to do that. We've got some lots that we're going to put up there statically, and I've certainly been putting a lot of it on Dibdit.com, but we've been lotting up a lot of stuff in here as well and selling it on eBay, because I want to use my time to focus on the other stuff. And then I've got lots of sets out there, lots of different things that are all identical, maybe different, same brand, different type item, all the same size, that we're running through List Easier at this point. I really took the time to look at my systems and to break it down and to rebuild it. And it's still not even there yet, but we are seeing, I don't even know if I'll be able to get there because the sales have been going through so much. I realize I got Jess to do live selling. I'm not telling people to do live selling. You can make these adjustments and changes in your own business and start to see the results fairly quickly. It's happened fairly quick. If you remember, this has been about 6 weeks since I started talking about doing all this. And, List Easier has been a big part of it. You don't have to do that. You don't need to do that. But for some people, it's really working. And I'm excited about it. I can't say I'm more excited about that than having my daughter make money in this business and actually enjoy it. That has just made my heart really happy. I'm going to skip ahead and do this next sale to make a point. This was there's 26 sales. There's only one I'm looking for Scooby. Do I always do this? Scooby's, no, there it is. There's only one that left a message, okay? And then the one I just showed you was from Ordy, and I know she is a viewer for those PVCs right here. And this is the only one that had a message out of 26 sales. So 2 out of 26 are definitely from viewers. There may be a few more sprinkled in there. I have no doubt that there are. But my point is, if you're the type of person who wants to look at somebody else's business and say, yeah, but I can't, then this opportunity is going to pass you by, because I really, truly believe you could go one of 7 directions right now and have success in all of them if your mind is right, if you will. $7.66. Those are free shipping. They're on 30% off right now. And there is a message, so I'll read it really quick. We are subscribed to you. Thank you. You are very inspiring. Long story short, a bad event in my life gave me the opportunity to sell on eBay full time. And that is not an uncommon story. Let me know if that is your story down below. That is not an uncommon story. I am in a better life and place as a reseller, squirrel. Reseller squirrel. Resellers Squirrel is the name of the store. On eBay and on social media. Thank you for all your insights. I wish you and your family all the best from the bottom of my heart. That is a very kind message. Thank you for the purchase. I hope you enjoy it. I'm sure you bought it just to say that, and I really do appreciate that very much. Hey, I just wanted to remind you our $1 offer on this swung vase is over there on Dibdit.com right now. We're going to announce it on Wednesday. All you have to do, you don't have to be there. All you got to do is go make a $1 offer on this. Won't cost you a dime unless your name is chosen, in which case it'll cost you $1. And then you're gonna get it free shipping, y'all. Go make an offer. I honestly hate to do these type of videos. Last time I did a video like this that asked people to look inward, what can you improve on in 3, 4, 6 different ways? Maybe it's just one. There was a few social media creators, Commonwealth pickers blaming it on you, and this is eBay's fault. And look, eBay's not perfect. All of the platforms aren't perfect. My platform's not perfect. It's not always gonna work for everybody, period. But my point was, and my point remains, and I still think this is true, back me up in the comments if you believe it, the single most important factor in your business is you and what you do and the ability to make changes when necessary. And I don't even think you need to make that many changes right now to make this thing work. You don't have to adopt something new. You don't have to pay, whatever a month in this new service. Just educate yourself. Learn what's going on. Pay attention to not just me, but to other sellers, especially if you're a niche down seller. Follow those folks that do what you do. Like, for instance, this is the last person you want to come to for advice on selling shoes and boots because I'm not that good at it and I don't like it, which probably corresponds. These are some pretty old Justin boots, actually. Ostrich on the bottom. And they sold pretty darn quick. $49.95 plus shipping. I've always sold media. I like to sell cassettes, and I got 8 tracks and VHS and stuff. I've never done much with CDs. This is the right one right here. And I've branched out. CDs seem to be going okay right now. Even some Blu-rays and DVDs, which I never sell, but maybe there's a little bit of a comeback in some of the media of the past. I'm not quite sure. But this batch that I had, you couldn't lose on. I didn't know anything about them, and it was just like, taking candy from a baby on this stuff. 1420 Sinai Beach. I don't know what that is. Plus shipping. And the next bit of advice is advice that I absolutely would not, I guess it's advice. I don't know. I don't like to give advice. I just like to tell you what I'm doing, and you do with it what you will. Is paying up for me was just something I just did not want to do in the past. A, because I couldn't tie up capital. I am in a slightly better place, well, a lot better place at this point financially, where capital doesn't make quite as much difference. But the idea of paying $30 for a pair of shoes like this in the past was crazy to me. No way I would want to do it. But I bundled them together. I ended up getting them for $25 because I bought a few different pairs. $25. This one sold for $71 plus shipping. And the margins aren't as good as some of the other stuff that I do, not even close. But the money for the time I put into it is far better. I have not been afraid to pay up. Even these PVCs, all these Smurfs. The guy wanted like $50 for this giant bag, more than this. And I don't want to pay it because in the past I didn't have to pay that much. But I made the decision to do it, and it was basically because of this guy right here. That's like a $40 PVC. And I saw a few other ones in there that I knew I'd do good on. And I'm like, man, I'm not going to turn this down because it's not the price I used to pay. I paid it. I don't like it, but I paid it. And there's going to be, $400 in profit in that lot. My daughter listed them, for goodness sake. Love it. I don't know why I'm showing you that. Now, I do say strategically pay up and have some experience. If you're new to reselling, don't pay up. Unless it's an absolute no-brainer. Unless it's like gold and silver and you can, make some money pretty quick. You can auction that stuff off and make money. Because you're going to have items that hang around for a very, very long time. And for me, it's strategic. I'm not going to pay up on something if there's no money in the bank account. You're just not going to do it. You're not going to go out with the intent to pay up. But, do you pass up deals that you can make? Like, what am I going to make on those? Let's say, I'll make $30, $35 on those shoes. That's not an amazing profit, but it's one item making $30, $35. That's not bad. And this is the time of year. When I bought them in the summer, I was like, well, they'll sell by fall for sure. Roy Rogers, like this one. This one I've had this forever. It was sitting over here forever. I finally moved it and it sold. Maybe I need to do that more often. $20.97 plus shipping. I'm gonna go grab two items. Tale of two different items here. This is why I think eBay's healthy right now. But it's in a category that hasn't been as good as it's been in the past. Hats. One is in that bin and one is in this bin, so I'm gonna put my camera down. All right, so here are the two hats. One I've had forever and one I just listed. So this one I had forever. I bought it on Dibdit.com because I love Jack in the Box and just supporting a seller. I probably paid $2-3 for it is all. I'm not quite sure. But I listed it at the market or above. It sat around forever because hats have declined. I hate to say it. Not a ton, and certain hats don't. But when I did the list easier lot of 41 hats that I listed in 10 minutes, I chose prices at the market and below. This one finally sold, but it took a 30% off to sell it. And it's been sitting there forever. $14, $13.97, something like that. So it's been in the store for over 250 days. And I'm making a profit. That's fine. But for those hats, now we've sold 21 of 41 hats that we listed using that. This one sold for $20 plus shipping. There are a lot of comps out there for $21, $22 plus shipping. But because I used that, it went so quickly, I wanted to get some sold. I put it just below market. Just $1 below is all. Plus I have pretty reasonable shipping costs as well. Oh my goodness, two cats. I've also been strategizing with size of items. If it's an item that's, going to take up space, you can't store easy, like this KitchenAid right here, I'm putting a good price on it. This one sold quickly, $39.95 plus shipping. If you watch my show, I'm not, I gotta keep an eye on these cats. I don't like them getting in the products back there. Cats are taken care of. So like I said, I kept no name in here. I'm not one to say cut people off at the knees and price lower. I'm not. I'm just saying be strategic about certain items based on your own situation, based on the capital that you have. If you don't have much capital and you got to turn and burn it, then you better be below the market. If you don't have much space, you better be at the market or below the market. If you have a bunch of space and you're selling, one-off type stuff there's not a lot out there and you have space, by all means, put that at a price where you're going to make the most amount of money. And I'm doing all of the above with different items based on different specifications. And I am not afraid at this point to put items out there just slightly, even if it's $1 below what the typical selling price is. Because instead of waiting for 2 months to get a sale, I'm getting it in less than a month. And in some cases, the older ones, I don't care if they're tiny. That's why I love these PVCs. Because you take good picture, put a good title in there, and they're tiny. Who cares if they sit forever? But really, I think now more than ever, you got to pay attention to your overall price with shipping and everything. People are buying right now from a lot of sellers. So if you're not selling, there's something is off. And there's ebbs and flows, and then there's the days where, people say eBay gets turned off or whatever, and I see that stuff too. So I'm not don't look at it in a small snapshot. Look at it in a bigger, much bigger snapshot. See No Name back there, snuck back there. Hey, No Name, I gotta go inside. And, be a season ahead as well. And you got, honestly, in this world we live in today, you might be 2 seasons ahead and be on time. I listed a bunch of Halloween stuff the other day, and I'm hoping it sells. But I'm not sure it will. But this was already listed and it already sold. JCPenney Men's Shop. Even this weird stuff like this. Look at the eclectic mix we've already got today. This one sold for $39 plus shipping. And fall, not just, you know, time to wear jackets, but it is the baking season, the cooking season. People stay home. That's why a lot of times you see more sales. Holiday seasons are coming up. Picked this one up for $1 because it had the lid. You find the lids, they go quick. $12.95 for this one plus shipping. Going back to the media cabinet here, this one is another CD, but this CD, unlike the other one, has been listed a very long time. And honestly, I don't even know what this one is. Maybe y'all do. But this wasn't part of that lot that I bought. This is a much older one. And it sold on 30% off, $6.97. I really would love to hear out there what is selling very good for you right now. Is there a category you just bought? Because sometimes us everything sellers, we shift. We buy so much of one thing and it's like, I get through all this and then it's like, that's what's selling. Well, that's what's selling because that's what you're listing. So some more input would be nice. And I was thinking to myself when I said electronics earlier hasn't been selling, there's small electronics in there. And then I thought, you know what, why isn't electronics selling? It's because I haven't listed it. I've got a stack of VCRs out there. This is the time to sell it right now. I know people, it seems crazy, but people buy VCRs and different electronics and stuff for Christmas gifts. There's no doubts. Mary Kay Time Wise 3-in-1 cleanser, $20 full price. $20, $19.95 plus shipping. Even a universally dead category, according to some people. I've been selling Plush lately. It's kind of coming back. I just listed, I think both, well, maybe this one for sure. And I was doubting myself. I'm like, do you really want to spend $1 on Plush? My out is dibbed it because I'm like, yeah, I'll sell it for $2 at least, you know. But I didn't know that I saw it like that. I didn't know it had a tag on it. But these go pretty good with tags. $16.50, so $1 into $16.50 plus shipping. And Hello Kitty, I pretty much pick up all the time. If it's clean and nice, don't have one little spot on it. I'm sold for $16.95 plus shipping. Another thing I've been doing a lot more than I used to is cutting bait. And I don't mean completely cutting bait. I mean, get your money out of it and move on. This is a good example. So these L.O. Bean duck boots, I think this is the right set. It might be those down there, actually. I'll have to go look. But I think this is, just hold on a second. Let me look for you. I don't think these are it, are they? Men's size 12. Does that look like a men's size 12? They weren't the right ones. These are the right ones. Those look to be in way too good a condition to do what I'm just about ready to tell you I did on these. I bought these just to say, how much are your shoes? And I started piling in shoes that were $2 a piece or something. And, you know, I saw those and I grabbed them, I threw them in. Well, guess what? That's missing right there. It's a little bit of detachment, I think, right there. See that? And they're well worn on the back. I'm like, do I really want to sit around waiting for these things to sell with those issues? I just undercut the heck out of it because it's got these issues. I'm like, get them sold. I'm going to make money on them. Why sit around on something like this? I'd rather sit around on a pair of shoes that have a very good chance of getting top dollar and just get rid of these. Sold for $14 plus shipping. And I think if we're all honest with ourselves, we all make those kind of mistakes. I like to think doing it as long as I have, I make less and less of them. And I do. I find something like, no, nope, not going to do that, not going to do that. That's going to take too much time. That might not work. But at the same time, I'm buying more of the things that I think are no-brainers and buying them in bulk. Because it is almost inevitable that if you buy I bought a ton of Walking Dead stuff. And I paid a price for a giant tub full of them. There's always winners in those. I bought them because I wanted to do a in-the-package Christmas show over on Dibdit. But then I went through and I looked at some interesting ones and I was like, oh, let's just see what that goes for. I left a lot of great ones in there too. But $22.95, what was that? Turner doing something? Oh my gosh. I gotta go check them out. $22.95 for that one. I think I paid $100 for the entire bin full of stuff. And when I went through it and pulled out a few I thought were cool, I was like, I'm going to get my $100 back on here and then everything over there will be profit. And I left, like I said, left some good ones in there. But $22.95, I probably ended up paying like $3 or $4 a piece for these. Maybe $3. I can't remember how many were in there. And so that's definitely a profit right there. And it's the perfect time to sell new and packaged stuff. Look at the shoes, boots, jackets, Plush, Tupperware, books, more shoes, media, hats. I mean, it's just, stuff you need. I just, at this point, I don't think, the old strategies of buy collectibles at this time and buy stuff that's useful this time. Buy stuff people want, period. Sterling. Old vintage collectibles. You know, it's just a really good eclectic mix. And it's a good mix of selling older stuff, using different strategies, and getting new stuff out there, and it sells quickly. I went inside to get, hey, Turner, thumbs up. No broken thumb. Well, it's not fully healed yet. I forgot you were still in here. I went inside to get some Lulu and More books. I thought they were in there, but I didn't see them. Normally our book sets I put in there. Maybe I don't see them back there. Where are these Lulu and More books, y'all? All right, I didn't want to move No Name because he looks so comfortable. So I just peeked back there and I didn't see those books, but check it out. I had to move them because I'm like, where are they? They got to be here somewhere. These Louis No More books right here sold. So normally I went inside because a book, like a set of books that were selling like this together, it's not really a set, but a lot. They would possibly be here or possibly be back there, but likely they would be inside. But since these are leatherette books and we've had water issues in there before, I'm like, nah, let's not do it. Anyway, I bought these for $5, hoping there'd be a winner in here. I could sell separate. Sackett is sometimes one of those. But in the end, it just didn't seem worth it. So I turned my 5 into 21 and got him out of here a little bit quicker that way, I think, instead of selling one-offs. Both ways are right. It's just the strategy I'm using right now. So not a huge profit, but I'll take it. So I was getting towards the end of my list, and I decided to check, because sometimes the sale will come in, and I'm like, oh, let's get it out of here today. And 4 sales have come in since I started this video today, which is pretty cool. This one right here, it's media. This one was already on my list, so this isn't one of those 4, but if I can find it. Bob Dylan's Greatest Hits, one of my favorite things to sell. I don't mind selling under the price of some of the normal things. Like, I'm not going to sell, you know, big stuff like that or this for $11.95, but I will do it for cassettes because space is an issue. Look at that. If that was full, maybe I wouldn't. But it's not full. $11.95 for Bob Dylan's Greatest Hits sealed cassette tape. Plus shipping. These were plus shipping as well. More media is selling, and I don't know if that's the trend right now or if it's just, you know, when you're using things like List Easier and stuff, you know, these are the kind of things that are just, you can just list tons of really quick. $14.20 for The Invisible Man, the memoirs of an Invisible Man. Daryl Hannah, Chevy Chase, and it is sealed. $14.20 plus shipping. I did sell a Halloween thing, which is good. I honestly feel like if you're 30 days out from something, you almost missed the boat already. But these were listed very recently and sold. Wonder Woman. I don't know, maybe somebody uses them not for Halloween. I suppose. Wonder Woman boots. These are pretty quality. This is pretty heavy. $17.50 for those. Plus shipping. Ooh, almost lost my Tupperware. Another super old item, probably been listed for around a year. Just sold on 30% off. I have not gone to this bin in quite a while. This little scarf Hanky bin. I bought a ton of them for one sale for a quarter piece, one sale 50 cents a piece, and I bought a few for $1 a piece at a sale. I gotta find the right one without driving you nuts with the crackle. And this one right here, this was out of that dollar bin where they wouldn't budge off the price. But there was one in that dollar bin I found right off the bat that was a $60 silk scarf. I was like, ooh. And I just bought, I don't know, I bought like 8 or 9 for $1 a piece. And I figured the rest will sell eventually, or we'll sell them live or something, and it's all money, all profit. This one, Ginny Johansson, 100% silk. Burgundy color, that's kind of cool looking. It eventually sold here, $14 plus shipping. So I'm glad I grabbed a few more. You know, when you're looking, I don't look for shoes, but sometimes if I see shoe boxes, I'll open them up, see if the stuff's new, because that's like no-brainer stuff to me, and they had $5 a piece on these boxes. So I just started buying. And when I got home, there were some new and some not new in the box. And still, $5 will make money on all of them. This was, I think this is the right one. I gotta open it up, make sure. Size 8. Yeah, these are new. Those sold pretty darn quickly. $34.95. So 5 into 35 plus shipping. Even I can't screw those up.
Hi guys, I just want to come say thank you to Calvin, and he got a number 3 Animal Man. So thank you so much, Calvin. And don't forget to get your stickers at commonwealthpicker.com.
No really high sales today, but we've had a few really nice ones, and ROI, I should do a calculation. The total 30 sales headed out of here, $1,014.76. I wonder what I've paid for all this stuff. There's just almost no way. Well, that one I paid up for. The silver I paid up for, but everything else was pretty much dirt cheap. So, you know, 150 bucks maybe worth of stuff. Somewhere around there. Maybe. Probably not even that much, to be honest with you. But I can't sit here and say that eBay's falling apart. It's the end of eBay. I just don't see it. And I'm doing this while live selling is growing for me. And I realize that's not the case for everybody, and I don't advocate for it for everybody, but I do advocate for you to look at your processes, look at what you're doing, look at your buying, and look at what you're listing stuff for, including if you're doing shipping. Because, you know, how does that appear to somebody else on the other side of the country if you're not doing flat rate, for instance? And I haven't looked at where all this stuff's going. I'll probably end up breaking even on shipping after the fees and after the supplies. But the volume has gone up for me, and I'm pretty excited about it. I'm very excited about my daughter. That just makes me, you know, I say this all the time. I'm going to say it again. Those of you who don't even have the support of your family, much less the help of your family, I feel for you. I have the support of my family. Speaking of, my wife, I had a few people comment in the last couple weeks, you know, where's your wife? She's never in the videos anymore. She comes in and helps me ship. She's busy. You know, the kids are busy. Turner's been injured, going to the doctor, all kinds of stuff. Family, you know, her family, my family. And she said, oh, I'll be on a video. I'll be on a video soon. So she'll be back. So anyway, thank you all very, very much for stopping by. This should be an encouragement to you. Leave some encouragement down below if there's something new you've tried that's really working for you. Let us all know. I appreciate you, and I can't wait to see you next time.